Hello, I'm Matt from LudoChrono, and today I'm going to give you an overview of Vanishing Stars. So Vanishing Stars is a head-to-head game. It's a fighting game for 2 players, and it plays for around half an hour. And this game is about humans versus aliens. So you can play as the humans who try to defend themselves. You're colonizing the stars, and you meet an alien race who are called the Myriad, who are insectoids, and they are really hostile. And you can play as any of those factions, and you're going to be playing a deck, and the goal of the game is to reduce the defense points of your opponent to 0. If you do that, you win the game, plain and simple. So on the board you have your commander, your defense points, but also your deck, because you can use a pre-built deck, but you will be able to build your own deck later. So in your deck you will have units, and you will have improvements for your units, events, and so on and so forth. So the units in this game are very interesting because they have different stats, and they have a cost, obviously, they have a move speed, defense, but most of all they have 4 different attack values. And this is what makes Vanishing Stars stand out, because you are going to wage a positioning war, a guerrilla war, because you want your ships and your units to reach the front line of your opponent, and your opponent will flank you and attack you from behind to get an edge on you. So how do you play this game? Well, it's very simple. You're going to play your turn, your opponent plays their turn, and so on and so forth until a player wins the game, and that's as simple as that. So the turn is very simple as well. You're going to first draw a card. That's the first thing that you do during a turn. Then you will gain some impactites. So this is the currency of the game. Usually you gain 3 of them. You have a maximum of 8, but you do not do that during the first 2 turns. So on the first turn and the second turn, no impactite is gained. Then you will be able to move all the ships that have been previously played. So for example, let's say I played this one, I will be able to move it 2 spaces, either horizontally or vertically, but never diagonally. So in this case, I could do, for example, this, and that's my move, because I have 2 move. Some cards have more or less move. It's up to you to discover. Obviously, I can jump over my own units if I find a suitable spot, so a free space, but I cannot do that with enemy units. Then once I have moved all of the ships that I want to move, my ships, granted, I will be able to play some units and some cards. So to play them, I will simply have to spend the impactite that's on them. So for example, I will be able to play this one. It costs 1, so I'm just going to spend it. Then I have a gamma cannon, so I will play it. It's an improvement. So I will be able to improve my units, or to play events that change a bit the rules of the game, maybe trap some places. So this is all about taking positions. Then we will fight. So if my opponent had put a card and had moved the card there, if my card encounters their card, we're going to fight. And when we fight, we are going to measure, to strike simultaneously, and to measure attack versus defense. So if you manage to surpass the opponent's defense with your attack, you simply discard the units and you have destroyed it. Sometimes both units can destroy themselves, sometimes no units is destroyed, so it all depends. But then, once you have done that, you are going to check if you touch the enemy front line. So for example, let's imagine this one was there. So this is like a huge ship. And in this case, it is close to the front line, it's going to damage the front line, and it's going to damage the enemy player by its strength. So in this case, it's 6, it's a lot, and you report it here on the dial. Once you have done that, you have only one thing left to do. It's clean up. You're going to remove all cards, all temporary cards that are there on the board, put them to discard, and then that's the end of your turn. Your opponent can have a go. So that's the basic structure of Vanishing Stars. Obviously, you're going to try to position yourself in the right way to attack the opponent where they are at their weakest, and obviously you're going to have a lot of keywords and special abilities that change the game. So in the base game you have 2 introduction decks, which are fairly simple, and then you have 2 advanced decks with 30 cards, which is the regular number of cards, and later on you will be able to deck build with 2 copies of the same card at maximum, so you will have more leeway and more room to build your own decks. So that's it for the Vanishing Stars. So this is a game about, at the same time, managing your resources and also trying to advance and taking position to hit your opponent and reduce their defense to 0. Now, bye bye, see you on LudoChrono.